A warm good morning to all. My major seminar guide, Dr. Alena Manoharan, and my dear friends. This is my video presentation of my major seminar on the topic Walden by Henry David Thoreau. Walden is a book by the American transnationalist writer Henry David Thoreau. The text is a reflection upon simple living in natural surroundings. The work is a part personal declaration of independence, social experiment, voyage of spiritual discovery, satire, and to some degree a manual for self-reliance. Walden opens with a simple announcement that Thoreau spends 2 years in Walden Port near Concord, Massachusetts, living a simple life supported by no one. He says that he now resides among the civilized again. The episode was clearly both experimental and temporary. The first chapter, Economy, is a manifesto of social thought and meditations on domestic management, and in Thoreau sketches out his ideals as he describes his own project. He devotes attention to the skepticism and wonderment with which townspeople had greeted news of his project, and he defends himself from their views that society is the only place to live. He recounts the circumstance of his move to Walden Pond, along with a detailed account of the steps he took to construct his rustic habitation and the methods by which he supported himself in the course of his wilderness experiment. It is a chapter full of facts, figures, and practical advice, but also offers big ideas about the claims of individualism versus social existence, all interspersed with the evidence of scholarship and the prosperity for humor. In reading, Thoreau writes is a pursuit of truth which is immortal, while wealth and material possessions are petty and fleeting. He believes that to read well is noble and advocates that all people should learn ancient language and read the classics. The writer is superior to the orator. He argues just as written language is superior to spoken language, which is common. For Thoreau, a written work of art is both universal and intimate, and is the art that most closely resembles life. He believes that books are the true wealth of civilizations and that writers exert more influence on people than do kings. When we comes into the analysis, by feeling the need to urge all people to read well and make the point that great written art and the spiritual wealth it can bestow are universal, Thoreau implicitly acknowledges that most people don't want to experience it, contenting themselves with the spoken language and material possessions. The paradox of writing is that it represents the greatest achievement of civilizations, but is known by so few. When we comes into the chapter 3 reading, in economy, the narrator advised his readers to cast off all the inessential baggage of civilizations so as to be free to adventure upon the great experiment of living. Great books, however, are one of the inheritance that men should be not discard, while most of what men inherit from previous generations, conventions, property, and money is antithetical to spiritual growth. Books are the treasured wealth of the world and the fit inheritance of generations and nations. The narrator speaks from experience on this point, and while he does not read much at Walden, he realizes the value of literature in his attempt at spiritual growth. He believes that in dealing with the truth, we are immortal, the permanent fixed expression of truth. Available in literature, is thus an absolute necessity for the individual in quest of transcendence. He has found the writings of Homer and to be the greatest value, for what are the classics but the noblest recorded thoughts of man? By reading Dante, Shakespeare, and Oriental and Western scriptures, we may hope to scale heaven at last. Having talked about the values of reading great literature, the narrator turns next to the spiritual sleepers of society and chidds them for their unwillingness to profit from reading and their lamentless eagerness to read shallow popular fiction. He complains that most men vegetate and dissipate their faculties in which is called easy reading. The narrator gives a description of this essay reading which accurately characterizes the bulks of popular fiction in 19th century America. To the narrator, it is no wonder that men and their society are so spiritually dead. Shabby literature can create only shabby minds. Thank you.